I'm going to shred Chris Williamson to bits right now. He's like, dude, you want to go meet up with this guy? I'm not going to say who it is. He's like the number 3 biohacker as ranked by Grok, the Twitter AI. And I just turned to him. I go, what the fuck did you just say to me, dude?
Welcome to the Coach 'em Up podcast. My name is Tim Riley. I'm not joined with Zach Zillner today. He was last seen driving straight into a hurricane on a jet ski off the coast of Miami. I don't know who to pray for, the hurricane or Zach, but history shows he'll probably be okay. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out. There are 2 types of people in this world. There are subscribers and there are non-subscribers. Figure it out. And that's enough for me. I'm joined with 2 wonderful guests today, and this all just kind of happened by happenstance. I couldn't be happier. ZACK TELANDER and ALEC BLENIS. Boys, what's up, boys?
Not much, man. Just living.
I'm just happy to be here.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I have some FOMO. I was watching you guys, your posts from you guys cleaning and just like ripping single arm pull-ups at Lift ATX the other day. And that looked like peak vibes.
Yeah, somebody like you're come from Minneapolis too, right?
Yeah.
This is total culture shock. Especially that gym, just outdoor, everyone's shirtless, everyone's an influencer.
Everyone's an influencer.
Yeah.
Everyone was an influencer.
Yeah.
That was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Even I went to Trader Joe's the other night just to like grab some snacks, and I'm like, I feel like everyone in here is a fitness influencer. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's Austin for you.
It is, particularly East Austin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's Lift ATX. Like like security systems with like the trip wires and like the lasers. That's cameras at Lift ATX.
You're constantly ducking and dodging, just fucking.
Yeah, cameras. Like, oh shit.
iPhone stands everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You're in someone's shot perpetually.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, Alex, what are you doing here? What are you doing in Austin?
There's always good people in Austin.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm like, Tim Riley's there. Zach and I had been talking a little bit. I'm like, I'll just come down, hang out, catch some vibes. It's been great so far.
And part of that too, from what I understand, you guys like have kind of like cross-contaminated one another here. We're like, you've kind of started an Olympic lifting journey, which by the way, I'm so fucking thrilled to watch because you're a weapon and it's going to be really cool to see. And then you've been documenting your, running journey, dude.
Yeah.
And it's been fucking profound, the change you've had just physically, just what you can see.
Yeah. Well, Alec and I don't know if we butted heads. I just was more like, because I was doing this thing where you would drop 10 seconds off your mile every day. And I started at 10 minutes. And then it was weird. I got to, I think the fastest mile that I ended up running was like much lower than what I had to, but it was like 6:15. Mm-hmm. And it felt like I was flying, but I also felt like the training that I was doing was not ideal for that. Like I was just running a mile and then leaving the track. Like it was not good, right? And so I saw this clip of Alec basically saying, if you are, between the ages of 18 to 30, you should be close to or trying to run a sub 6-minute mile. Yeah. And like, while that is very intense and very hard, like I don't know, I don't want to say what you said wrong, but basically if you're not doing that, it is a quote unquote health risk to a certain extent, right? And
around the same time, Zach had recently run like very close to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And I made the argument that if ZACK TELANDER can do it, why can't you?
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think you knew though that like I did have an athletic background. It wasn't, I'm not like I wasn't a fat power lifter.
You were just some fucking bum. Like you.
Yeah. Well, no,
you
like a
fat, like lacrosse.
Yes. Yeah. Running was like my thing, but what's interesting though is like that kind of got me like interested in Alec.
Yeah.
And then just looking at cardiorespiratory health and cardiorespiratory fitness has been like not life-changing, but I am certainly cardio pilled now. Because number one, I've seen it in my own training. So I'm on day 60 now. Yeah, day 60 in a row of running at least a mile. Yeah. And like more than half of those, it's over a 5K. Yeah. And I've also seen like the most robust meta-analyses studies talking about cardiorespiratory fitness being like, this is it. Yeah. Like these studies are crazy. They're like,
it's so compelling.
It's insane data. It's not just like, so there's like a study that talks about like lengthened partials and like, you know, they kind of work, and we're all like Jeff Nippard being like, yeah, this is kind of a goated way to train is lengthened partials, right?
Yeah.
This one's like
the bicep.
This one's like better cardiorespiratory fitness, not die. we have over 1 million like participants over the course of centuries. yeah. One of them is 100,000 participants over 30 years.
Holy shit.
And it's like, and it's just like, if the top 25% versus the bottom 25%, the top 25% or the bottom 25% has 390% higher chance of all cause mortality. Whoa. Like there is no other stat in health and fitness that I've ever seen that is even close to that. Nothing even close. And like people want to sell other shit as if it has any sort of marker on health and fitness. Like it's insane.
For comparison, like, and you had highlighted this as well in one of your posts, but for comparison, to put that like 390% increase in all-cause mortality in perspective, I did a dive into the meta-analysis on ultra-processed food consumption, because everyone's like,
yeah, this is where people are going to get mad.
Anti-processed food. And so to make the comparison relatively fair, when we're talking about cardiorespiratory fitness, we're talking about comparing people in the upper quartile, so your top 25%, versus bottom quartile, bottom 25%. And that difference is at like 390%, right?
Okay.
With ultra-processed foods, when controlling for other variables, top 25% versus bottom 25%, difference in all-cause mortality was 4%.
Whoa.
Versus cardiorespiratory fitness was 390%.
390, bro. So okay. Now let's make two identical people. One of them for 3 months eats a really great diet. The other one runs and eats a shit diet.
Run and eat a shit
diet.
The
running guy is going to be healthier. Come on. That's fucking crazy. Do you know how many people on Instagram are going to be like, what?
100%.
Well, Kyle Broflovsky's mom, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, well, I think too, it's like I can hear, so you saying that, I'm like, okay, there's a large space in health and fitness, particularly the nutrition umbrella and like all the pseudo things that fall underneath that.
Yeah.
Where like what you've been sold is nutrition, it's number one. Point blank, period.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily. Some people don't sell it. It's like the pendulum swings back and forth in so many different things, and I feel as though that the pendulum has swung away from cardiovascular health and fitness. Like, do you remember Play 60 and like jump rope for heart and those things? We see cardiorespiratory fitness as an old school ideal.
Yeah.
The real thing now is reducing adiposity and gaining muscle.
Yep.
And
the sarcopenia battle.
Yes, the sarcopenia battle, which is great. Like Alec and I, look at this dude's abs. Like this guy fucking gets it, okay? Right? But like that actually is not as a big a factor as cardiorespiratory fitness. And it's been proven over and over again. And I just think, so like and I'm fired up about this because like I see fitness as like this ever-changing pop culture event.
Yeah.
And the pop culture event that's happening right now is reduce all systemic fatigue, reduce all adiposity, and do as minimal amount of effort as possible to live in a deficit.
Yeah.
What do we know that as? That's bodybuilding.
Yep.
That's bodybuilding. Don't squat when you can leg press. Don't because of systemic fatigue. Don't run when you can incline walk. eat right, sleep right. Zero talk of like actually grinding to increase your VO2 max. And like, if you're going to do bodybuilding, don't grind to do your right. But if you're just a human being, it is wildly important to increase. Do you see what I mean?
Well,
there's two different spheres and we're just collapsing them into like, this is how you're supposed to be healthy.
The average Gen Pop fitness enthusiast, the message they're receiving is largely that of what the point you just made, where it's like, it's just bodybuilding.
Yeah. It's a bodybuilding message being sent out to the world. And again, we look at running and cardiovascular health. Like, I think of it, you remember when we went to school and like, they always talked about heart disease and they were always talking about like, just like move, you know?
Yeah.
And like, do stuff and move. And like, and now it's all about calories and reduce and leanness.
Yep.
And like, calories and leanness are really important, but like, let's not get it twisted. We will pull up study after study after study that just says, if you go run, it beats it all.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. That to me, I was like, oh my fucking God. And dude, you can watch me realize this over time. I started like, that is the crazy thing.
It has been cool watching you,
you know,
and it's been inspiring to me. And it's one of those things like, you know, there's this joke in strength and conditioning where it's like most coaches understand the strength part, but we forget the conditioning. Like there's an S and a C, right? And like the cardiovascular piece just is either often neglected or it's viewed as like, we're going to do the bare minimum to make sure athletes can show up and do their sport, right? And then that's it, which arguably is like just your job, right? For S&C.
Yeah.
But it's not the priority.
Sets of 3 and sets of 10.
That's right. Yeah.
That's not what it is.
Well, if you didn't know, the cardio is just, it's contralateral lifting and big circuits of 6 to 8 exercises with minimal rest. That's the cardio, you know? Yeah. But yeah, it's been cool watching you in real time, sort of like arrive at this place where you're like, oh shit, this is really important. Why aren't more people having this conversation? And then you took it a step further where you're like, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. Let's find out. Let's fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think Alec helped a lot with this.
Yeah.
Just as I like the way that his Instagram is set up and like his way of getting things across. And then also he's like the less pretty version of hybrid athlete. Like he's the actual.
I took that personally.
Yeah. He's the actual like rugged, fucked up version of a hybrid athlete.
Yeah.
Right. So a guy who can just rip out like sub 630 miles for a marathon.
Yeah.
And then is going to kill himself in the gym.
Yep.
Like with squats and pendulum squats and all this shit.
Yeah.
Like that.
The one set of 20 plus reps and just add 5 pounds every time you come in or whatever it is, you're a sicko for that. Everyone needs to go look at that, by the way. It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that like, I would love to hear your thoughts on the hybrid movement, but like, do you feel like the essence of that movement has kind of been ripped away? It looks like it to me, but there are still some dogs out there.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, the if people watch this and take one point away, like just to like rewind a couple of steps, it's that yes, cardio fitness is important, but that doesn't mean you have to go like chase a marathon goal, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be this this crazy commitment. And that's one of the things that sometimes I don't like about the hybrid movement is just this like idea that more and more extreme is better and that you have to be running further and further and like you need to run ultra marathons and lift heavier. And it's like, you don't have to go insane.
Right.
Like you can get to that top quartile of aerobic fitness with a relatively modest time commitment if you do it consistently for a long time. And I think a lot of people just getting into it, they go all in and they're doing these like massive endurance challenges and whatever, which is cool. But then other people look at that and they're like, that's crazy. It's not for me, whatever. And I want to be like, no, cardio is for you. Yeah. Cardio is for literally everyone. It's like you saying brushing my teeth is not for me.
You have
to do it.
So that, by the way, adds into this new era of like bodybuilding, hypertrophy being like the number one thing.
Yep.
How many guys like bodybuilders and fitness people will be the first people to talk about nutrition, sleep, lifting, and health.
Yeah.
And they'll be the first people to say, I can't do cardio though. Like they laugh about their ability. Like, I hate cardio and I don't do cardio and like that. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, you can't do that. Yeah. You can't, simply can't. Sorry, but I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, that's perfect. And I think what we see a lot with that is they're only doing a couple of things right for their health. Like they're lifting, which is great for your health. Don't get me wrong. And they're eating a reasonable amount of calories, but they're missing so big on like the cardio side and that kind of thing. And I don't know. I feel like when you're have like a really high cardiorespiratory fitness, I don't want to say you can get away with shit, but like there's a lot of things that you can like not do so optimally. You can eat in the upper quartile of
you know, I mean, you can say that.
Yeah, like
I want to add, like, you know the saying, you can't out train a bad diet.
Right.
I want to expand on that, and I'm like, if you have more thoughts, go for it. But I definitely want to.
Yeah. So what I want to know from you is, can you? Because you kind of can.
I think depending on how we define good diet and bad diet.
Right. 100%. That's because that's a subjective.
Right.
Good and bad is like so subjective.
Yeah.
If you're obese,
dependent.
Yeah. If you're obese, type 2 diabetic, like any sort of like added sugars, you should probably avoid.
So let's define good diet based on like what the actual data says, because we talked about the ultra processed foods, and I'm not here to defend ultra processed foods and tell people to go
You're not a shill for ultra processed.
I'm not like, guys, you need to go eat more Doritos, even though those spicy chili ones, like,
they fuck out of control.
Those are crazy.
Those are
the purple ones. Yeah.
But so one of the meta-analyses that I'm referring to, it was comparing ultra processed food consumption, but it broke it down into categories based on how much good food people ate too. And by good food, I'm talking about something called an adjusted healthy eating index, where they looked at a number of dietary parameters, but the biggest ones were basically like fruit and vegetable intake, things like that. And they found that when you normalize for how much fruits and vegetables and like other good things people are eating, the amount of ultra processed foods they ate on top of that didn't matter. Like it was virtually insignificant. So when we talk about what is a good diet, it's just eating enough of the good things that like your mom probably told you to eat when you were a kid. Like eat your fruits and vegetables, get enough protein.
Yep.
Don't drink an excessive amount of alcohol.
Right.
And if you do those things, you're pretty good. Yeah. So like if you just do the basics, what I call like good enough nutrition, like you can definitely out-train a bad diet of like, you can have some Doritos and sugars and whatever. If you're doing the cardio, you're eating some vegetables, you're hitting your protein targets, you're going to be fine. And that's not that complicated. Yeah. And people think nutrition, they're like, there's so many questions and uncertainty, and it's this big like complex black box, and it just doesn't have to be. If you just do the basics, and that includes training hard in the gym and aerobically, like you just do all the things pretty well, and then you don't have to get so like laser focused on trying to do any one of them perfectly. And that's what I think we see a lot of, is people pick this one thing to try to do perfectly, and they're like, I need to make sure that I don't have any artificial dyes, and
then they can't inevitably do it.
Keep my PUFAs down, and they're putting so much energy, so much money into this one thing. Meanwhile, it's like, hey, how fast can you run a mile? Like, I don't know, 8 minutes. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're spending how much money on your grocery bill, and you can't run a sub 8 minute mile?
You're majoring in the minors.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, but they wouldn't call, those aren't even minors. This is like the meta. This is like playing with your calorie deficit, like, and playing with the amount of systemic fatigue you accrue within a session is like the meta of fitness right now. Mm-hmm. Incline walking has never been more popular, and people just like, I think we also need to define what cardio training looks like. It shouldn't be like, if I want my biceps to grow, it's like kind of a fun thing where I can push my biceps, right? I obviously don't do it enough, okay? But the idea of cardio is like, oh fuck, it's this thing I got to add on top. And you have to, I feel like in order for cardio to like kind of work its way into your life, is you have to feel like it's a dial that you can stress more and pull back and manipulate, just like you can weights.
Yeah.
And like when you finish a cardio session, which for me is just running, and it's like I can feel, you know, that feeling, and you're like sweating hard, and you're like that. I feel like people don't get that. They're not searching for that whatsoever anymore, at least.
Dude, I have so many things I want to say on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. So are you guys familiar with like dynamic effort work in the gym of like kind of light
100%
speed work? And
I was a West Side guy for, you know, a period of time.
So like when you're doing, so say you're deadlifting, you're gonna do like speed work, like it's pretty light, right? Like I've seen people doing like 40%, 50%, like pretty lightweight for speed for, I don't know. So that's a 3. Is that like a fair?
Yeah. Like you like 5x3 stuff like that, where it's like, the idea is high quality, high intent, real fast.
Yeah. So like
less systemically fatiguing work,
right?
But you're still getting reps.
And when you're strong as shit, doing 5x3 at 60% for max effort, max velocity can be a stimulus.
Yep.
I would never take like one of my personal training clients who's been lifting weights for 3 months and be like, all right, today's deadlift workout is 5x3 at 40%.
Yeah.
They're not going to get anything out of that. And so applying the same percentages and the same like framework to beginners to like advanced people who just like their absolute outputs are so high and their ability to like get maximal motor unit recruitment and stuff is so high that sort of like submaximal percentage work, high effort stuff makes sense. I see the same thing with cardio, where it's like when you're an elite endurance athlete and your absolute outputs are this high, you know, and you're training 14, 15, 16 hours a week, slowing down and doing like zone 2 work, like easy 60, 65% work is a requirement. But when you're like just getting started and you're doing 30 minutes of cardio 3 times a week, why are you asking me about zone 2? Yeah. You're trying to make your easy training program even easier. Like the point of zone 2 is to be able to train really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And that has to come first. Like if you're not training really fucking hard, zone 2 doesn't apply to you. Like you have to do the really hard training first to even have to worry about your recovery.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what gets me with people just like not pushing themselves very much. And to kind of back up that point, I want to bring up a study, an overtraining study. Oftentimes there's studies where they intentionally overtrain people to measure things like immunosuppression and those sorts of things. But what's so fascinating about overtraining studies is how often they fail. And they're like, we're going to try to kill these people. And then they run them through this like 8-week, just insane program. And they're like, oh shit, they actually got a lot better.
They just adapted.
and so credit to the guys from Empirical Cycling for pointing this study out. This is where I first saw it. But there was, it's a famous overtraining study where they gave recreationally trained, so like not super fit, just recreationally active people a training program. Like we're gonna give them the most outrageous program ever. We're gonna measure like the immunosuppression, all the things that happen when you overtrain someone. It was alternating days between 6x5 minute bike intervals all out and 30-minute runs all out. So you go to the gym one day, you're doing full send bike intervals. You show up the next day, 30-minute run time trial. Next day, you're back on the bike. Next day, you're back running. You're just all like,
oh my
and for
God.
8 weeks, they're just trying to murder these people.
Hell yeah.
And at the end of the study,
their VO2 maxes were insane.
It's the biggest increase in VO2 max ever recorded in the literature.
Whoa.
That's amazing, dude. That's amazing.
We coddle the shit out of beginners.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know,
bro, this all it all like folds into each other. Like it's coddling beginners. It's like this strain and stress if it's not fun and if it's not cool looking. Like it's just we can manipulate the way that we talk so that people don't have to do them. You know, we can like I don't understand why people have more fun like torturing themselves with nutrition than they do torturing themselves with like sprinting. Like sprinting is I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. And like having a high heart rate and being like, oh man, what a killer workout that was. Like I have this theory that people should leave workouts more often and be like, whoa, that was really tough.
Especially beginners.
Yeah, like people, it should not be a shock to work hard. And that is, it sounds very simple and like what everyone's saying all the time, but like if you've actually, you know, I've done CrossFit classes, I've done track workouts, and I've left workouts on all these different things and been like, holy shit, like sitting in my car, just like,
yes,
right? That should happen a lot more.
I think
everyone.
You have to earn the right to talk about fatigue management. Like if you've never experienced true overtraining, if you've never dug yourself into a hole so deep that you just feel like absolute shit for weeks, and then you have to realize, oh,
Alec,
I manage my
can't
fatigue.
sleep, zero boners. You're depressed.
You have to get there at least once in your life to understand what fatigue management means.
Yeah.
I just think you have to get there.
It's like trying to assuming that you understand what reps and reserves it is.
If you've never gone to failure.
You've never gone to failure.
You don't know what fatigue management is if you've never overtrained.
Yeah.
You know?
The problem though is like overtraining is a weird one as well, because you can get injured long before you overtrain. You can like
true kind. It depends. I think it depends.
Like, okay, well, for one, a deadlift, like okay, how about this? If technique is sound, there is no overtraining for beginners.
Yeah.
And if technique is sound is like the biggest caveat. So essentially now we're in line.
Yeah,
right?
take like the 52 set studies. Like we can argue all day about like what was the quality and was the hypertrophy actually edema and whatever, but like people are doing 52 sets a week for a muscle group and they were okay.
Yeah.
You know, like you're probably not overtraining.
Yeah, it's this idea of like load management and fatigue management, it really only comes into play if you are being technically sound for every single rep. And the amount of people who have to really worry about that is actually much smaller than we think.
This episode is brought to you by friend of the show, David Gray of David Gray Rehab, creator of the absolute game-changing foot, ankle, and Achilles program. To date, it's helped over 8,000 people, including Zach and myself, get back to running, jumping, and playing pain-free. This program isn't just for athletes, it's also been used by coaches and physios in the NFL, NBA, and Premier League, as well as every other major sport. And if that wasn't impressive enough, you can get the full program 15% off lifetime access when you click the link in the show notes and use code TIM at checkout. The Coach 'em Up podcast has partnered with Aleco. Let's go! Not only is Aleco found in 85% of Power 5 schools, but they also offer at-home solutions from racks, flooring, rigs, barbells, bumper plates, your favorite accessories like straps and weightlifting belts, you name it, Aleco's got you covered. Go to aleco.com/Coach 'em Up and get access to the same equipment that they're using in the best facilities with the best athletes on the planet.
And now back to the show.
We were talking yesterday. We went and lifted, and like I was just kind of like, yeah, what do you have in mind? Like hang power cleans, AMRAP muscle ups, like whatever. And you commented that not many people are willing to go kind of off program like that because they're worried about like disrupting their routine or getting too fatigued. You're like, I'm gonna be sore from doing new stuff. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm not that that important. My program's not that
It's not
that dialed.
Yeah.
But like the amount, like you're alluding to, like the amount of people who think that they are that.
Yeah. It's like, you know, who are you? Who are you to like need such control over your program? Like, are you an elite athlete? Because then, yes, that makes sense. But it's likely you're not. Like, if you have the ability to push intensity, you have to jump at that occasion all the time. And like, if I show up to your gym and you're like, hey, we're doing max effort vertical jumps, and then like we're running 20s and 30s and 40s, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. I wouldn't be like, I have hamstring day tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to fatigue myself.
Yeah.
I jump at the occasion to do intense shit because I think intensity is more important than, I mean, that's CrossFit. They blew a lot of things, right? But that is the one thing that they did so unbelievably well. And I remember there was this thing, was like, the foundation of CrossFit comes from like Greg Glassman training people and looking at how other trainers are training people, doing like 3 sets of 10 on like bicep curls and like taking 5 minutes in between and talking the entire time in an air conditioned building. Heart rate does not get up even close to zone 2 for an hour, maybe like 10 total working sets, and then they leave. And like, he just saw that and he was like, no one's working out. No one's training at all. And that's like, for me, I mean, that is the beauty of like the brand of CrossFit. Not that that's distinctly them, but that was like what they were after.
Yeah.
Right. So, and their whole thing is like intensity over everything, especially for the newcomer.
Yeah.
Get your heart rate flying out of your chest. Get to a point where you feel like you're drowning. and then come back to earth and be like, whoa, that was intense.
Yeah.
Because that is really the only thing that's going to change you. If it doesn't scare you, it won't change you. Mark Bell said that, you know? And I think no one's getting scared enough.
You know, as I'm listening to you guys talk, I'm like thinking about, I'm like, God, I do an appallingly low amount of cardio in my own training. Though I will say I've kind of cornered myself. So I'm starting this fitness event called Apex. Hopefully it gets as famous as this one right here. But the events are overhead med ball toss for distance, full approach vertical jump for height on a Vertec, broad jump, 40-yard dash, 60-second AMRAP, trap bar deadlift. There's a weight for men and women. Bench press 225 test, because come on. And then the last is an all-out mile. I've also considered adding in a rowing event.
How are
No,
you?
don't please.
But I was, you know.
How are you testing the all-out mile? Is it going to be on the treadmill?
So the first one is I'm doing, by the way, by the time anyone watches or hears this, it'll already be over with. I'm just inviting like local. I think I sent you an invite.
You did.
Okay, good. It's going to be on a treadmill, the first one.
Yeah.
Just because I need to figure out like a score. I'm trying to figure out a point system so people can have an apex score. But I was crafting this thing because I was like, I do believe in my heart, it's like athleticism, athletic qualities, training for those things is like going to be a next evolution of a fitness trend. And it's the way I like to train any fucking way.
Yeah.
And then I'm going through this list and I'm making it and I'm like, fuck, dude, there's no cardio. Like I was going to leave a cardiovascular litmus test off of that list. And I was like, I have to have this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that I kept arriving at was like, what's something that everyone can do? Most people can you can either hop on a treadmill or find a track and you can just send it, you know? And so I kept arriving at the mile.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun, dude.
It's going to be fun. But I'm thinking like the last time I ran a mile, I think I ran a 6:37 with Matt Choi. And like the last 120 meters coming down the track, he's like, come on, like trying to push me. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck you.
Yeah.
Zero chance. I'm not throwing up on camera for you, not today. But people are going to puke.
It's brutal.
You're telling me I have to come back to Austin in a couple weeks? Is what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. I need you to compete. By the way, winners will be receiving $1,000 from Rad. So shout out Rad.
I don't think I'll.
What's the weight on that trap bar deadlift?
315.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Here's the rule though.
Talking my language.
So it's not touch and go. You have to drop the bar and reset.
Okay.
So it's basically a bunch of concentric pulls for a minute. What do you got in the tank? You are going to dominate that event. Holy shit. Oh my God. I can't wait to watch that happen.
Be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. Are you going to come, Zach?
I think so. I think I have.
By the way, you don't have to do every event. Anyone who you do, all of you listening and watching, if you want to win money. But yeah, this first one, it's going to be a bunch of guys and gals hanging out, having fun, fucking ripping weights and sprinting and stuff. So, but
I want to do that. I want to test all those things out.
It's going to be fun. By the way, the last time I saw you jump, you had an impressive vert, dude. Do you remember jumping on the vert?
I think it was good. It was okay.
What'd you touch? 10.6, 10.7? Was it higher than that?
I don't remember.
It was dunk a basketball high.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I was dunking good.
So wait, but hey guys, doesn't cardio like ruin your gains and make you weak?
Okay, I gotta say some stuff here. So, I know this has not been brought up, but I'm sure there's people watching that are thinking this.
The same thing, of course they are.
And they're like, there's probably people watching thinking, well, I saw some study that like lifting improves VO2 max, blah 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 blah. So I just want to address that point.
Let's do it.
First two. The vast majority of studies that measure VO2 max do not measure VO2 max. Like they estimate VO2 max based on some sort of proxy measure. And
fascinating.
So
I did not know that.
They'll have people do like a beep test, for example.
Got it. And then it's based on the performance.
And then
that beep test and heart rate, they'll get your VO2 max, or
they'll just go straight beep test score to VO2 max estimate.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they'll take a bunch of, they'll make like a matrix of like your body weight, age, all that's like age, gender, and then they'll.
Sometimes it's beep test, sometimes it's mile run. It's always some like.
But it's nowhere close to accurate regarding.
It's rarely actual lab test VO2 max.
Okay.
Sometimes it is in smaller and higher budget studies, but usually it's just not practical and it's too expensive.
Sure.
So a lot of times, especially for the lifting studies, they'll be like, after doing like 12 weeks of circuit training, their VO2 max improved from like 42 to 43. First of all, that's not a good VO2 max to begin with. Okay, so like maybe it improves your cardio if your cardio is already not great. Second, what that actually means is you got just like a pinch better on a beep test, which like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you do a bunch of circuit training, that makes sense that you might get slightly better at something like a beep test.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That doesn't mean we're making like the more like cardio structural changes that like are associated with longevity. So like if you ever see something like that, like actually look at the study. Are you actually improving cardiorespiratory fitness, or are you just improving some sort of like performance proxy? So that's the one thing. As far as cardio killing your gains, I'm just like, yes, but no. Like my stance is that like all training interferes with all training.
Yeah, it's systemic fatigue,
It's
overload,
fatigue.
and fatigue management, overload, or fatigue management, load management, systemic fatigue, all of that. It all matters, and a bodybuilder is going to tell you, cardio is going to ruin your gains, because a bodybuilder is literally trying to like lay down, stand up, and like work out, and then go back to laying down. They don't want any fatigue outside of making muscle big.
Yeah. Yeah.
So of course they're going to say that.
Well, and the irony there too is when we look at the actual interference effect as it relates to measures like hypertrophy, maximal strength, explosive power, there's the least amount of interference with hypertrophy. Like you might lose a little bit on max strength, you might lose a little bit more on like peak power production, but hypertrophy is like one of the more resilient of the
Interesting.
That is very
I didn't know that.
interesting.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, like you may not have like the greatest vertical jump in the world. Like I think training for an ultra marathon and training to dunk a basketball would be like a crazy hybrid challenge.
It
That's
would
really
be
cool.
very difficult
But
to
like
do both. Yeah.
To do a bunch of endurance stuff and be muscular or aesthetic, that's like actually one of the easiest things to do, I think.
That's so funny because that's touted as like the main.
That's
Because it's
hybrid.
easy.
And also,
So that's hybrid athletes now. That's why I wanted to talk to you about this. Like, you actually do that like kind of sled dog work. And that's what I've seen you do, and that's what I like know you for. But a lot of hybrid, and I don't want to just like dunk on hybrid athletes now.
Right.
But if you like look good, you're a good looking guy and you have like ripped abs, and then you're like seen running for longer than a 10K.
Yeah, or long enough to record it.
Yeah, you have now tapped into the hybrid market. And which for me, like the guy you were going to have on, what's his name?
Alex Viada,
like
fucking GOAT, the OG.
that is the creator of hybrid. So that is not even in the same universe as what he did.
And hopefully I can do him justice, because if he was here, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think he would probably want to highlight that hybrid training is not the combination of strength and cardio. It's just the combination of any two disciplines that don't directly support each other. So if you want to do jujitsu and bodybuilding, like that's hybrid. If you want to do CrossFit,
and this is from the man who
that's hybrid.
quite literally and like created that
name.
His entire training methodology is like, how do you just take two different things and figure out how to like.
That's funny because of what that word has morphed and become.
Well, okay, so I'm going to go back to CrossFit, because like they pushed that on a massive scale before a lot of people. I think actually he was doing it at almost the same time. I remember hearing about
CrossFit
him.
was blowing up, I think you're right.
Yeah, I remember hearing about him doing ultras and then pulling 700.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah, which is crazy because like that was the only person outside of the CrossFit space that was doing something like that. So I think for me, if I was to look at hybrid and like the difference between CrossFit is like taking all of these aspects of CrossFit and pushing two of them to their extremes. Because there are a ton of these things, but like pushing them harder than they should be pushed. And I wonder, I don't know. I just think it's super interesting this battle between CrossFit, High Rocks, hybrid, all of this stuff just clashing. And I'm kind of CrossFit pilled because I think that the typical everyman assessment of CrossFit is so bad. It's terrible. Because one, people haven't done it or they haven't viewed it enough. They don't know elite athletes. I know a ton of elite athletes in CrossFit.
Yep.
And they're like some of the sickest fucks I've ever come in contact with. One thing that I can just say, one thing that I can just bring up, I'd be like, this is unheard of. Is this guy Gui Maieros out of Brazil, snatched 315 and then won the 800 meter run event.
Whoa.
In the same day. So we're not talking about a 500 pound back squat. We're not talking about a deadlift. We're not talking about a bench press. We're talking about a fucking snatch. Like
fucking raw strength and power and
but like also
ability.
Insane athletic ability.
Yeah.
To then be able to win a longer distance sprint event. If that's kind of a
fucking half mile.
Mid distance, yeah. And then there's some, there's people who like these guys like sprinting on their hands and then running like 10K and then like clean and jerking 350 pounds in the same competition and doing massive rucks and like crazy shit. And yet all that we see from people is like, you're going to get injured. The butterfly pull-up is stupid. All these things. And like, we're just going to let these crazy athletes do this crazy shit and like, just be like, yeah, CrossFit's stupid.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
CrossFit's lame, dude.
Yeah, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't do that. And like,
it's like literally the most like a Greek god looking person you've ever seen in your life. And they're faster and they're stronger and more fitter than you.
People don't just do that with CrossFit though, to be fair. Like I think any high level sport, there's dumb people saying dumb shit about it. It's like,
of course.
Right.
Distance running.
But I think once you get good enough at something as a sport, you earn the right for idiots to say dumb shit.
Okay, but I want to say this though, because so fitness is a space where everyone can have an opinion on it because they all quote unquote do it. Right? So that's why fitness as an industry is so potent and so powerful. If you want to make money, if you want influence, hop into the fitness space because it is so potent and energetic. And this is not a good thing, right? I'm not saying this as like, I'm saying this like still. Everyone, every fat dude, every dumbass has an opinion on fitness because they all quote unquote do it, right? So the moment that CrossFit comes in and is like, doing crazy shit and it's a very controversial thing because it's in the fitness space. No, like if somebody's going to comment on basketball at like an incredibly high level, you're just gonna be like, oh, okay, this is people just bitching about basketball, right? It's not like a very powerful, potent thing because not everyone partakes in basketball.
Right.
But everyone partakes in fitness or thinks they partake in fitness. 100%. So they all have an opinion.
Nutrition too.
And nutrition. Oh, fuck. Right. So it's the same. It's one of the same things. I love to bring this up because there are musicians that sell thousands and thousands of tickets and like they'll play in front of sold out theaters and arenas too. And they'll get online and like do content and get no engagement, like compared to even me or Alec or you. Like I just posted a video like this morning. It'll have 100,000 views on it. Like for a musician, that is so crazy. No musician does it. And why is that? It's because people aren't musicians, but people quote unquote are fitness enthusiasts.
Right.
So there's this parasocial criticism based ecosphere or whatever you want to call it of people that just want to talk about fitness. It's just a really interesting thing that like it takes for you to get out of it to be like, oh, whoa.
I think also too, there's been an ever expansive umbrella encapsulating what that term means. Like, everything.
Like fitness?
Yes.
Yeah. So the wellness space would
bingo,
go into that.
You got it. That's exactly that's where I was headed.
And so wellness guys, wellness dudes can just hop into the fitness space when they want to, or they can pop out. They can be like, oh, we care about life and longevity. We don't care.
Methylene blue because performance.
I hate the separation of fitness and wellness. I hate it because
but I can hop out and be like, look, I don't do the weights thing. All I care about is living longer. It's
it's been it's become such a cliche to be like, just because you're in shape doesn't mean you're healthy. And people post pictures of like when they were jacked and you'd be like, you can't tell in this photo, but
I was actually really unhealthy.
I was really unhealthy.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's the extreme. That's not the norm. Like for 99% of the population, the best thing you could do for your health is gain muscle and lose fat.
Yep.
Like if you just actually kind of chase conventional kind of fitness standards, like in a healthy way, like not starving yourself to lose weight, but like chase performance and improved body composition in a sustainable like way that supports fitness long term. That is health.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just said that in 20 seconds, and that's it.
That's podcast
We're done
right there.
No, not just podcast. That's health and fitness. I'm out. Like, we have an entire space dedicated to explaining those 20 seconds over the course of their entire career.
Yeah.
Like and that is just essentially what this is all about. And I think, okay, if you were, and we were hanging out with Chris Griffin. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
Podcaster out of Australia, kind of floats in and out of the fitness space, but he's just a good podcaster. And I think this is all just interpersonal relationships and anecdotes and the ability to move through those seamlessly. And what happens is like, there are some bad actors.
Yeah.
Who get really successful because they can do things in flashy ways. Right? If fitness is just 20 seconds of Alec explaining, which he did so eloquently well, we don't really need to have this conversation.
Right.
But the reason we do have this conversation is because we're all working on fitness in our own way. And maybe through my anecdotes, I can tell people certain ways of like increasing their fitness or being healthier. And
in a way that's personal to them, that's relatable.
Great. And so content is ever evolving in that way. But at the same token, guys like the Liver King can exist and fuck all of that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the whole point of this whole thing, right?
Dude, what the fuck? Was that guy here in Austin trying to fight Rogan or something?
I don't know,
what
dude.
the fuck, dude? What the fuck?
So wild, dude.
So you watched that documentary? I watched it because you influenced me to watch it, dude.
Bro, I mean, well,
I got 30 minutes in and I said to Kelly, I looked at her, I was like, I can't fucking watch this.
Yeah.
Because it's mental, Yeah. And in a lot of ways, it just reminded me of the same insanity that I grew up in as a child with just a totally fucked up home life. But I mean, that was crazy.
I think the biggest tell was that he admitted to being like a career criminal and thought that would be like a way for us to like exempt him of what he's done.
Right.
He's like, I can't help it. I'm just and he talks about working at GNC and faking. That's his first hustle, was faking. He'd take empty pill bottles that people would return, and then he would print off the receipts and then go to another GNC and they would give him money back with those receipts. And not only that, he said, I also counterfeited money and I also dealt drugs. Yeah. He's a career criminal.
Can you
capital
imagine?
C criminal. And then capital C criminal.
You got me.
Right. So, but
can you imagine? Like you've been strung out for, not that anyone listening to the show would know what this is like. I'm 7 years sober, by the way. But like you're on a 2-day bender and you can't get a hold of your regular guy, but you're like, your buddy's like, no. I got a guy. Trust me, he's awake. Let's go get a bag from him. And you walk in and it's the Liver King.
Yeah.
And he's
Brian
like,
Johnson.
welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome in.
He's like,
I just can't imagine buying drugs
and he
from Liver
he
King.
opens up his freezer and he's like, dude, this is the
By
future
the way,
right here.
while you guys are here, you might not be that hungry.
Liver. This is the future.
Liver.
You're just
I
like, what
liver.
the fuck is going on? Yeah.
Yeah, the drug dealer tried to make me eat raw liver, bro. Yeah.
So this is the thing, is like where capitalism and greed meets fitness is the same as any other sphere. You're gonna have psychos that are gonna muddy the water but look really sexy.
It takes
and look
10
really
times as much
interesting.
energy to undo that though. Like someone will say some dumb shit.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, no, that's not true. And then people will be like, source. I'm like, they didn't have a fucking source.
What the fuck are you talking about? Dude?
What?
Source like what? Like all the stuff that we understand to be true. Yeah, it's like yeah, I don't know,
hate
but
it.
like I think I'm still gonna take this artificial blend, or like this blend of like liver, heart, and like pig testicles or whatever, because I don't know. Like I heard it increases your
bodybuilders-
testosterone, bro.
What I do like about bodybuilders, I know I shit on them all the time, but like their ability to be like snarky and like the best comebacks online are just fucking epic. They're like, source? Oh, you want to see source?
Double bicep.
You know what I mean? Or like, yeah. Like, but
Source, I'm jacked.
this would
loser.
be great. Like, you should do this. I've done it a few times. It's like, that's a great opinion, bro. But sadly, my VO2 max like is, you know what I mean? Like, or like, sadly, this is me deadlifting. Like your max, you know what I mean? I think that's
it's like
so
pin the comment in the reel.
Yeah.
It's like
I've done that.
If I have the energy for it, like I think the best approach is just like ask clarifying questions. Be like, what do you mean by that?
yes,
You know?
that's the best way to thoroughly.
Dr. Mike says that all the time.
Yeah.
He's just like, so he said like, if somebody goes, you shouldn't do that. And he goes, what do you mean? And they're like, well, isn't that less healthy? He goes, why?
Yeah.
And then they'll just be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so why are you asking?
Yeah. For asking follow-up questions for someone who is clearly just like parroting something, or coming from a place of, they're just simply naive or ignorant. But if you just ask questions, it's actually like, and look, like I can be petty. Like I've not been against rolling up my sleeves in my comment sections a few times, and it's purely based on just how my day's gone. I try to avoid that because at the end of the day, it's like no one's getting anywhere with this.
Yeah.
But just asking questions and leading people down the path, because at the end of the day, you're not going to change anyone's mind.
No.
But
maybe
if they arrive at it under their own cognitions and they're able to confront their own inconsistencies, you may have nudged them in the right direction.
So my thought process with this kind of stuff, with like arguing with people on the internet, I ignore, like I don't think about that person. I just use them as a conduit to share information and maybe change someone else's mind who's on the fence and reading
looking
it.
at
And looking at
Yeah, I've seen you do that.
That's a very
If
healthy,
someone's arguing with me,
productive way
like-
to look at it. By the way, Alex, I'm gonna try and adopt that because that's better.
So I've seen you do that for sure. Somebody just disagrees with you, and then you just like take a really long reply to them.
Yeah, I don't
and you've also made an entire post based off of some of these comments, which is great. That is like the content strategy that people need to go for.
Speaking of content strategies, I would love to talk a little bit, because first of all, I've doted all over you in prior podcasts about how just well thought out and intentional and purposeful and all of your content is. And then also like you're fucking funny. You've got top S tier meme making ability. So you do just a wonderful job. And then Zach, lately, dude, watching you and your which by the way has inspired me, because something I've been meaning to do personally for a long time is just get in front of the camera and just talk. What you've been doing lately, the way you've been creating content, you're in your fucking bag right now, man.
Dude, well,
it's
okay.
sick. I just want to like give you a little additional praise. So I'll open up a reel of yours and I'll be like, oh, this is cute. Like Zach's kind of like making fun of inspirational like stuff, and it's funny. And then I watch it and I'm like, I'm kind of inspired as fuck right now, actually. It's great, dude.
I so appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
of course.
fellas.
Yep.
And I can put people on game right now on how to do this. And if you listen to me, it'll work. Number one, if you want to make content, you have to know what you want to say. And that comes from having like this constant need to be curious about why things are the way they are. And once you have some sort of thesis around why something is the way it is, then you have to be able to defend that thesis, just like anything else we do.
Yeah.
Right. So I actually learned this pretty early from my dad, who's a sports writer. He was a big time sports writer in Chicago when the Bulls were the Bulls.
Fuck yeah.
I have a picture of him standing across Michael Jordan's Corvette, like talking to each other. Like that he was in the dope. He was in, I have it on my Instagram.
6-year-old me just had a transcendent experience during that.
Like I met Jordan on multiple occasions.
God, dude.
I'm not kidding. My dad was in this shit.
Every fucking book report I did all the way through middle school was on Michael. I ran out of books.
So this was a common occurrence at dinner. My dad would be sitting at the head of the table. We would actually have like TV kind of playing in the background. You shouldn't have, whatever, but it was just Midwestern. Okay. And my dad would say something like, okay, he would be like, this Cornell basketball team, it was March. And Cornell is like streaking through the tournament. They're in the Sweet 16. Mm-hmm. He's like, this Cornell basketball team is winning games and they're beating teams who, their freshmen are going straight to the league. Mm-hmm. And this Cornell basketball team, every starter, actually the top 7 are all seniors. They've been playing together for 4 years. They have a great team. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of interesting, and that was it. I went to the school the next day. I was in high school, and at high school, you can like grab the paper at study hall, and then like I would go to the art hallway because they had the best shitters. Like,
nice.
Yeah, the art hallway, like
paper and take a dump.
Yep. Open up the front page of the sports section. What is it? It's my dad talking about the Cornell basketball team. The following day, I read that. What does that say to me? That is the lesson of content right there.
Yeah.
If you're not talking about it, or thinking about why it exists, or able to give out why that exists, it's not content. So that is, for me, that's all this is. Every single thing that I've said in here and all of these points will turn into a 90-second reel.
Yeah.
And that, you need to understand that. If you're in between bench sets, what are you saying to your homie?
Yeah.
Like, dude, fuck, people, for me, it's like, people just listen to bodybuilders. They don't increase their cardio. Boom. That's a piece of content right there. Mm-hmm. And then once you have that ability to just convert what you say to your friends into content, now you need to do the basic expository essay that you learned from when you were a kid. Do you remember? Is that what it's called? Expository?
Expositional? I have no idea.
I think it's a 5-paragraph essay. Mm-hmm. You have your hook.
Yeah.
Which is your opening line.
3 supports.
Yeah, well, your hook, thesis, 3 supports, closer.
Yeah.
That is content in every fucking shape. What do I hook you with? Like today I said, just because our degeneracy is not excused by being quote unquote spiritual. Yeah. That was my hook.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Okay. Well, there's a group of people who call themselves spiritual.
Fucking kill me now. Austin's full of them.
Yes.
Wearing $800 hats and fucking, what are they called?
The like beads and shit and pashminas.
Pashminas. And they go to Burning Man.
Yeah, and they do degenerate shit, but they feel like they're more virtuous because they're quote unquote spiritual. And the funny thing is, spirituality can't be bought, and it shouldn't be something that you show off to your as an influencer. And that's like the dichotomy. And I made that into a real today before I showed up here.
Yep.
And I'm just consistently doing that over and over again. And I've done that for 50 days in a row now, or 60 now. Mm-hmm. Exactly 60 days in a row.
Funny.
I've
so
done that.
You started running. What did you have like a moment, Zach, where you were like, all right, I'm about to dial the fuck in. I'm locking in. I'm going to fucking run every day, and I'm going to make banger content every day, no matter what. Because whenever people ask me, what do I need to do to start making content? I tell them what someone told me. Shout out David Gray. He was like, you have to make content for 9 days in a row. That's it. Not 60. Yeah. 9 days in a row, no matter what. Because you're going to make bad content. You're going to learn. You're going to get into the rhythm.
My thing though, like that doesn't always work. And I'm going to tell people that doesn't always work because if they don't have that initial step of having something to say.
Yeah.
And having something to say. Like, okay, people not beginners not training hard enough is a thing to say.
Yep.
He's not just saying, I need to make a reel today. I have something I need to say, and I have my own personal viewpoint on it. Okay. And that's the trick. Like, if you don't have that, don't make content. Don't be a fucking influencer.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the first to say that. Like, you can't just be like, I want to be an influencer now. I'm going to make a reel every day and then do that and expect to be an influencer.
Yep.
Because no one's going to give a shit. It's saturated. It's a saturated market.
Yep.
That's it. That's literally, dude, what I've been doing. And the numbers that I've gotten in the past 60 days have been insane. Yeah. It's been ridiculous. I'm at almost 20 million views in the past 30 days.
Wow, Zach, that's great.
And then gain of 23,000 followers, which is like something I've never had ever before.
Yeah.
And that's what, and I feel like I'm just talking like fucking endlessly here. But
this is all good stuff. Keep rolling.
This was my YouTube. This is how I looked at YouTube.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, why can't I do that for 90-second reels?
Yep.
And that's it. That's all I've done.
Zach, what's the best training app on the planet?
It has to be Train Heroic. Gone are the days of sending the old crusty PDF. Now we have a sleek new app.
It's easy to use. There's videos with descriptions. You get to track and log your weight, your reps. There's a community chat function. You can submit videos. You can get feedback.
How about the leaderboard, Tim?
I started using Train Heroic first as an athlete and someone who wanted to learn. Now I use it as a coach. Athletes and other coaches can go and be a part of my training community and get results.
Whether you're an athlete, coach, or just like to train, use the link in our description to find out how you can train on the best app in the world.
And join us on Train Heroic today.
I feel like, Alec, you should be doing this.
I would love to see you do more forward-facing conversational stuff because you're such a good speaker. Remember when I told you the first time that I recognized you as being someone who I was like, oh, this guy isn't just someone who is really passionate about training and makes good content. This is someone who's incredibly thoughtful and intentional and well-spoken. As I watched you moderate, who was it?
Angus and Atlas?
Oh, Angus and Atlas. And I didn't hear a fucking word they said. I was so dialed in on you and the job you were doing moderating.
Angus Bradley versus Atlas Powershrug?
Yes.
Oh, what were they talking?
Oh, they were fucking mad.
What were they talking about?
What were they fighting about?
They were beefing about a lot of things. One of them was like...
It got personal. I know that.
That's so sick. I love both of those guys. See, this is the corner of the internet that like
evolved. But Alex in their... What was it? What were they fighting over?
They were fighting about like footwear and barefoot shoes a little bit.
Yep.
What else? I don't know.
Shit. It's gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Stall.
Yeah.
Stall. I'm gonna pull it up on YouTube right now.
I love that though. Like I think moderating discussions is a lot of fun, because people just...
Man, I had a debate. I've only done one debate, and it was me and Joel Seedman.
Got it.
You did the Joel Seedman debate?
Yeah.
How did I miss this?
You debated Joel?
Dude, yeah, it's up on YouTube. It's
Fuck
great.
Me. I didn't know that. I saw him
great.
debate Kier. Kier eviscerated that man.
I fucking smoked him too.
Why does
it was
he keep
easy.
coming back for...
Oh,
but
so
it's like
they fought over tib training and barefoot training.
Oh, yeah.
The tib training.
Tib raises.
Which I know Atlas does endlessly and relentlessly, and then also trains in Vibrams.
Yes.
So interesting. So interesting, but also not.
So
Oh God, I was there for the popcorn for just the
No, I like both of those guys because they're both very smart and they're the types of people that people should be following on Instagram.
I agree. They're both great.
To tie together an idea about cardio fitness though, and like majoring into minors, like people who like they obsess over like small nutritional details and stuff, but their cardio fitness sucks.
Yep.
People who are worried about like the strength of the like intrinsic muscles of their foot or stability or whatever the fuck in their foot.
Yep.
And like, do you actually go out and spend time on your feet?
Yeah.
Like, no. What are you talking about?
You're wearing barefoot shoes, but you sit at the desk all day and do zero for your fitness.
Maybe try like 20, 30,000 steps. Your feet are going to be pretty strong. I don't care what.
Doesn't matter what shoes you're wearing.
Just since I started running, I've been switching to. I used to wear barefoot shoes all the time. I got to get back on,
dude. I don't care. I don't care.
No, I like it. I can feel after taking tons of steps with barefoot shoes, like, oh, my Achilles feels like a little sore.
Yeah.
My feet are sore.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like that's an adaptation that I'm making in my foot.
Yep.
I think people who are dissuaded by soreness and like feeling fatigued, like they need to get their shit checked. Cause like when I am sore and fatigued and I wake up with DOMs, I'm like, awesome. Yeah. What happened? Like the amount of DOMs that I have right now from running sprints the other day is absurd. I have not felt like
You
this.
want to run sprints tomorrow with me?
If I'm healed by then.
Okay.
But yeah, I would love
If you can, I would love to have you.
We did 20s, 30s, and 40s. We did 4 of each.
Oh, you were at Tough?
Yeah.
I still haven't been to Tough Sprint Club. By the way, I'm starting a sprint club.
We did 4 of each. Oh, that's great.
Starting everything.
I am. I know I got to cool out.
But dude, four sprints at 20, 30, and 40, it felt like a lot of work.
It is. It is a fucking potent stimulus, all out sprinting. People don't understand that.
I was like, hey, I was done with like my second, so on my 6th rep of like, so I did 4 at 20 and 1 at 30. And I was on my 6th rep. I was like, I'm kind of done.
Yep. Yeah.
Like I felt you know, when you're, if you haven't done lunges in a while and you start doing them and you're like in between sets and you already feel sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of started feeling that while I was sprinting and I was like, this is insane. You know?
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That lunge feeling though, that's like a very specific experience.
Oh yeah.
Can I bring up something you said that just got my wheels turning? I actually posted about on your in a comment section the other day, and I think it was the sentiment was basically this idea that like instead of focusing on something that very clearly moves the needle for health and fitness, like
movement,
movement, and we're focusing on like processed foods or microplastics instead, or whatever thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. And I commented, but I feel this way strongly. It's much less effort, physically to focus on something that I can just over intellectualize and obsess over, like processed foods or microplastics. And then I also don't get the same sense of superiority that comes from me knowing that I'm doing something you're not doing. And I'm better and I'm healthier now because I listened to one podcast that told me how to biohack something.
Yes.
I think it's because it's easier to do something better than someone else than to be better than someone else.
Fucking, that was the line of the century, bro.
And so
put that on a fucking t-shirt.
So you can
you
just
say that one more time, please?
It's easier to do something better than someone else than to be better than someone else.
Yeah.
And
because
so,
being better is a subjective thing, but this when the moment you say do better, that becomes objective.
yeah,
I
eat better than you.
yeah,
Yep.
right.
I
Yeah.
shop at Whole Foods. You go to H-E-B, you fucking peasant.
I mean, the thing is though, like if somebody does have a faster 5K, like it's likely that their CRF is better than yours.
Well, yeah,
Right.
for
And then
sure.
and then in that sense, like by most health metrics, they're going to be healthier than you, which is fucked up.
But I think in that analogy, I think someone would like look at over optimizing their program and they're like, well, this training at this intensity, like I don't want to overload my mitochondria and like overexpose them to lactate.
Yeah.
And so I'm training at this percentage, whatever. And they're like, so I'm training, but it's like, yeah, but you run a 27-minute 5K.
Yeah.
So your mitochondria are not better than mine.
Yeah. This simple, which is, by the way, 27-minute 5K is just fine, bro.
It's fine.
Don't even.
Thank you.
I run 27.
I don't want to be the asshole.
I run
Take it back.
27-minute 5Ks like every day.
My mitochondria are better than yours.
Probably. Honestly.
Unequivocally.
Probably are. Okay, the post that I made though was like people, everyone loves, they said majoring in the minors.
Yeah.
But there's entire convention centers filled with people on biohacking.
Yeah, you're right.
And wellness. And not one of them sets up a treadmill and is like, Look at my number one biohack.
Yeah.
Right? In Austin, there's a biohacking convention.
And it's a big fucking deal.
It's a huge deal.
People fly in from all over, and it's like I get drop-ins at the gym, and someone walks in, I'm like, that fucking guy's here for the biohacking convention. His mouth's blue.
So Chris Williamson was like, I'm not even gonna I'm gonna shred Chris Williamson to bits right now.
He's
go. My
well,
homie.
You guys are friends.
He's
so
my
you're
best friend on the planet. he's like, dude, you want to go meet up with this guy? I'm not gonna say who it is. And I'm like, who is this guy? And he goes, he's like the number 3 biohacker as ranked by Grok, the Twitter AI. And I just turned to him, I go, what the fuck did you just say to me, dude?
Oh God!
I go, listen to the sentence you just said, nerd.
Yeah, say it again, slower. Yeah.
This is where it's like, we just need lockers everywhere. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Shove this fucking nerd in a locker.
Jam your friend in a locker.
Yeah. It was like,
I'll let you out
that example. That example that I have in that video is the dude being like, my blood glucose level was absolutely fried because I had a snack bar 2 hours before bed.
Yeah.
Not doing that again. Hey, dude, show VO2.
Can you imagine? Imagine my blood glucose right now. I've put this down during the podcast.
Oh, shit. Yeah. How many carbs are we working with? How much sugar?
How much fucking sugar are you poisoning your bloodstream with?
160 grams.
Yeah.
Of sugar.
So here's the thing.
He's going to burn the living fuck out of that today.
All of it. So, someone would see that and be like, oh my God, appalled. But like the truth of the matter is, in my experience working with athletes, particularly anyone who's burning a significant amount of calories, like collegiate pro athletes, you're practicing for 2 hours a day, you're lifting for 2 hours a day. In addition to that, if you cannot eat what has been advertised as healthy by wellness and, functional medicine communities, as like everything's organic, has to be clean, high in fiber, you cannot eat enough of that physically. Most people cannot. And still meet the caloric demands and carbohydrate demands you need to perform at a really high level in athleticism.
I was having this kind of argument or debate in my comment section not too long ago with people who couldn't grasp this concept. There was a fairly high level hybrid athlete female who trains several hours a day, running marathons, lifting, doing all the things. And she was sharing her experience of when she started eating more processed foods with less fiber, she felt better 100%. And got healthier.
You're not shitting all the time?
And someone was under the impression, well, that's just because it allowed you to get enough calories, and all else being equal, if you could get all those calories from healthy foods, that would have been even better. And I'm like, no, it would not have been.
Yeah.
Do you understand what eating clean for 5,000 calories a day does to your GI system?
It's a fucking disaster.
Well, so what? Hold on. Wasn't that what Stan Efferding tried to develop? That's his whole shtick. Is we can do this now. What's his vertical
diet? So, right. But he does a good job. It's like you're getting the bare minimum, but it's just with him, it's almost like the paleo thing. It's just eat more white rice.
White rice is goated.
It's goated. You can eat healthy, but then all those extra calories, white rice. White rice. If you need to eat it. For me, it's sometimes it's no, I'm going to go into the store and I'm going to smash this apple juice, that has 55 grams of sugar because I fucking need it, boys.
What's good is I've been on just the bread and olive oil kick lately.
Oh, delicious.
Bro,
oh man.
You saw the day 0 and day 50 of that I posted of my running?
I did, yeah.
I have literally not even given a fuck about my nutrition whatsoever.
So cool.
Not one bit.
That's tight.
And my numbers in strength have just all kind of stayed the same.
Yep.
I've just lost body fat.
Now you're just way fitter.
Yeah. I just don't
you got abs.
I just don't give a fuck about what I eat because I'm burning so much.
Yep.
I'm straining myself so hard.
I haven't given a fuck about my nutrition in 10 years.
If you guys see him, by the way,
dude,
go to his Instagram right now. Pause this. Come back.
We're talking ab veins, dog.
Yes. When you have veins on your stomach, you're fucking peeled, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's his name? Eating Skittles all the fucking time.
Oh shit. Well, every bodybuilder under the sun now is gummy.
So I was like packing up to come for this trip, and my lovely wife Morgan is very thoughtful and will like put things into my luggage that she knows that I should have packed.
That's very sweet.
But didn't.
Yeah.
And so I got here, I was unpacking, and I'm like, oh, she put my Sour Patch Kids in for me.
Yes.
Good.
The Coach 'em Up podcast is now powered by Vald, the global leader in human measurement technologies. Whether you're working with elite athletes, gen pop, or return to play populations, Vald's tools are designed to give you objective, actionable data to help drive your decision making. From Nord boards, force decks, and smart speed timing gates, all which I use, Vald helps you measure what actually matters. Their technology is used and trusted by the NBA, NFL, EPL, and NCAA, as well as thousands of high-performance clinics and facilities around the world. If you're serious about performance, recovery, or precision coaching, Vald gives you the best tools to test, assess, and improve. Because remember, if you're not testing, you're just guessing. Follow the link below to learn more and request a demo.
The Coach 'em Up podcast is sponsored by Squat Wedgies. Tim, what are Squat Wedgies?
Squat wedgies are an adjustable squat wedge, 7, 13, and 20 degrees.
It's big enough to elevate your whole foot and not just your heel.
Because it's rubber, it doesn't slide on surfaces.
It's 22 pounds, so it's durable and stable enough for even your biggest athletes.
There's a 90-day risk-free trial. The shipping is free, and
Get 15% off Squat Wedgies with our discount code CoachEmUp15.
Coach 'em Up 15 for 15% off of the best squat wedge on the planet. Guys, I've got some questions from the crowd. You guys want to rip through some of these?
Yeah, let's do it real quick.
Zach, you're up first, it seems. Zach, some charlatans are subtle and sound legit. Mm-hmm. How do you tell the difference and see through the noise? This is from Atha Varasha. That was honestly my best attempt.
Well, it's really important to understand that selling and being an influencer is totally fine. Selling a program, selling a thing, whatever that may be. I think that the only way to know if a charlatan exists is to like have these kind of key points that like fire off alarm bells in your head. So like off the top of my head, absolute statements, jargon to confuse, like to confuse and make things convoluted, in-group versus out-group. So like us versus the world type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, there's so many different ones, but a lot of times they all kind of play in succession, these factors. So he's saying, what does he say? It's like
some sound
like ride the line
subtle and sound legit. And then, but how can you suss it out? Like how do you sniff it out?
It's just I have like a 6-part series on my Instagram that like I list off all of these things, like guru, like being a guru. Sacred knowledge is the big one.
Oh, yeah.
I hold the knowledge for this.
Appeal to nature.
But that's more specific, appealing to nature.
True.
And so the functional patterns guys are the greatest versions of charlatans that we have. Like in my opinion, in the fitness space, like it's perfect. And the number one is like they can use sacred knowledge and jargon together.
Yeah.
So he can say, I have this sacred knowledge about what training is and should be.
Yep.
And then I can use a bunch of really confusing terms so that you always have to go to me for your answer.
Right.
You can try to do my programming.
Sell me this pen.
But you will always have to come back to me for everything. I never want anyone to get really skilled enough. Mm-hmm. Right. It's and I think a lot of it's egocentrism. But that's hard to tell in fitness influencership because that's part of the deal is being egocentric.
You mind if I expand on that a second?
Please.
Yeah. I think the question presents a little bit of a false dichotomy of like someone is either a charlatan or they're not. And I think that is the case oftentimes. Like there's people who are just categorically disingenuous, but like sometimes even good, generally trustworthy people can fall prey to some of the ideologies that other charlatans have promoted. So there might be someone trustworthy who like overall I like and respect as a person.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden they're kind of parroting this claim. I'm like, I don't know about that one. About that.
Yeah.
And so I think rather than ask like how to know if a person is trustworthy, which is important, I think the even more important step would be just like how do you critically appraise information from any source? And so whether it's a charlatan or from Zach or from someone that you're like, I don't know if this person's trustworthy or not. They seem to be kind of on the line. Forget about that, all that. Just like, how do you take their claim at face value and determine, is this specific thing something I should be listening to?
Well, so this is what I would say is just be patient and assess. You have to take your time. Like you guys, the amount of work that I've done on charlatans is actually crazy when I look back on my YouTube channel from like 7 years ago. And I took time and assessed like Joel Seedman and the functional patterns. Like I assessed a large breadth of their content and what they were saying. Then I came to the determination that they were charlatan. So you're saying somebody is generally very good and they have a few instances where you disagree with them or where they do charlatan type things. I wouldn't go out of my way to be like, that's not a good person.
Sure. I think no one is immune to misinformation.
So true.
Like misinformation is really powerful. So there might be like, I look
at things I said 10 years ago and I'm like, fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
I believed that. Right. I believed that.
Yeah.
And I can now look back with experience and have, a little compassion for myself and understand that, like, hey, I knew what I knew and I believed what I thought.
And I think that's a great mark of someone who's not a charlatan, of like, can you look back and say, I was wrong about that thing?
Yeah. Alec, I got one for you. This is from the same person. I'm going to try a better attempt at this Instagram handle, Athar Vashah. Okay. Alec, any guidelines and tips tapering as a hybrid athlete? And by hybrid, they even defined it. Good job. Running and lifting, leading up to an endurance event.
Yeah. I think overall tapering is something that takes a little bit of trial and error, and that there's not this is how to taper. I think as you go through different events, maybe you try slightly longer tapers, you try a slightly shorter taper, you try pulling back a little bit more on intensity versus keeping a little bit more in, because you're always trying to walk this razor's edge between letting some fatigue fall off, but still staying fresh and sharp. And sometimes it's tricky to get that exactly right. But what I'll address here is what I think are common mistakes with tapering. I think the biggest mistake with tapering is too much, too late. And that people they train completely normally until like 3-4 days out and they're like, I got a race on Saturday, I'm going to rest. And it's like, that's a great way to just end up feeling flat and kind of stale. And like, there's no spring in your step. You're rested, but like you're like,
you've eliminated the stimulus entirely.
So that's one mistake. Like you want to keep some movement in. You don't want it to be this big, like 3-4 days of rest before an event. Another common mistake is being too afraid of intensity. And so like, oh, I got a race coming up in a week, and they don't do anything hard at all. And a lot of the kind of intensity driven adaptations, like lactate threshold and that kind of stuff, they detrain not like super fast, but they are going to start to fall off a little bit. And again, you're not going to feel quite as fresh and crisp and stuff on the start line if you are overly avoidant of intensity. And the only way that you can keep a healthy dose of intensity in your program, even up to like 48 to 72 hours before an event, is to start tapering a little bit further out, so that it's a more gradual process and you have more time for fatigue to slowly fade away versus waiting too late and then being too aggressive with it, and to be pulling off of volume sufficiently. So my general advice is between 1 and 2 weeks out, significantly back off the volume, maybe even pull back to like half of your normal volume, give or take, but keep a good bit of intensity in your program. Pull back on the volume of intensity, but still hit some race paces. If you're preparing for like a 5K race, you might even hit some short intervals, like just a couple of 400s at 5K pace, like on Thursday before a Saturday race. But that doesn't mean like 4x400 at 5K pace is not hard. Right. And if your volume is already pulled back by 50% from where you were, you're going to be feeling good. So that's my general advice. I would say beginners, intermediates generally will have a shorter taper. As you get more and more advanced, your taper is probably going to get a little bit longer. So there's no one size fits all, but biggest piece of advice is just keep some intensity in.
I love it. All right, Zach, I had one here for you, and then I fucking Skateboard Strength wants to know, did Huberman ever say anything about the post you made about him endorsing functional patterns?
Dude, I've had some people get in my DMs lately.
Really?
Yeah, people that we had a little back and forth in the DMs. I think Huberman is such a large figure that like he didn't understand the scope of like functional patterns. Like he didn't have time to like I've studied the fucking blade.
Yeah.
Okay? You know what I mean? Like don't come in and be like functional patterns they're legit people and it's a legit training methodology. Like you're not going to get away with that.
Yeah. Can't let that slide.
No, I can't let that slide. I can't let Hubes get away with that. So I had to be like, yo. And so we kind of had a little debate on the meaning of the word endorse.
Interesting.
So
you gonna pull up the definition for us? I love that.
Because this is I don't know.
I've actually, so as I was reading this question, I knew that you guys had a back and forth because I watched it. And I believe I recall him saying endorse being a bit of a strong word.
Right. So I put on the, yeah. So look, endorsement, an act of giving one's public approval or support. So in my opinion, that video was a direct act of giving your approval. And then so Huberman gets into my DMs and he goes, I never endorsed functional patterns. And if there is anything online that says that, please tell me so that my legal team can like have it taken down and all this stuff. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know. We're arguing over syntax errors here, or like, like or like things that we've said when all it is like you took an assessment of like a very loose assessment of functional patterns. I'm somebody who I would claim is like very knowledgeable on them as charlatans.
Yep.
I've since been blocked, by the way, by everything functional patterns. And I'm just saying like, hey, you shouldn't do that. Like these guys are not good people.
I'm going to have to show you my DMs that I had with Naughty back and forth once we finish this up because we won't have time today, but it's good. Keep going.
Yeah, I have an entire video showing my DMs with Naughty. I do. It's on YouTube. It's the last video that I did on functional patterns. I've absolutely dunked on that. I'm sorry.
I'm impressed you guys were able to get through a conversation. I am very impressed by both of you now.
Dude, yeah.
Well, I got him to give up.
So
I just did it by asking questions. Well,
yeah, that's of course what I know when I'm DMing back and forth, like again, the Huberman thing was like, okay, he doesn't know. He didn't know.
Yeah.
But still now arguing whether you endorse them or not. Like, I'm sorry, you're not going to, I didn't say anything other than I just went off the definition of endorsement and then I sent him the definition. Was that a dick thing to say?
There's no excuse not to know. I don't think there's any excuse not to know when you're in the business of providing health information.
I mean, look, you can't claim, to your point, you lose the ability to claim ignorance when you have made your entire brand about being not just a source.
Bro, and it's
the
like,
source.
Yeah.
I'm such a guy that gives the benefit of the doubt and is nuanced about things for so long. For people are like, I get yelled at by both sides. That's how middle I am on a lot of things. And functional patterns patently has proven time and time again to me, everyone that I've ever known in the space, that they're bad charlatans, bad actors for the space.
Yeah.
They're the one group that like is shining at the top. They're the kings of it, the worst.
Yeah.
And then to have Huberman be like, I'm really into this functional patterns thing. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You know?
Yeah.
What I hate about it is people will be like, yeah, well, but like they're right about some things, and they'll talk about like rotation. I'm like,
that's
they invented rotation. What are you talking about?
And mind you, bro, here's the main thing.
Have you seen ALEC table rotate?
Mind you, it's never what they claim. It's not the methodology. It's the claims that surround it.
True.
I cannot say this enough because when I do say it, it's like, dude, I argue with Mark Bell all the time, who's a homie of mine.
Right.
You're a homie of yours as well, right?
Well, actually, I'm not. We aren't. We haven't had any real interaction.
Okay, do you know Mark?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So Mark is close to me and will argue about functional patterns all the time. And he doesn't even understand my argument. He thinks that I'm just like making fun of a bunch of dudes who are dancing around with a cable.
That too.
No, but that too. But that is a bias that I have. I'm just being a frat bro in that way.
Yeah. There's a time and place for that.
Yeah, the methodology is not what I'm after. It's the people and the surrounding verbiage and the surrounding attacks on everyone else and the absolute statements and all of this that I am after.
Yep.
That is, and I say it every single time, and everyone just goes, "Yeah, but they have some stuff that like you could really. I mean, they've got some good stuff."
I mean,
That's not what I'm fucking. I don't care.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
You're not. They're missing it.
It's one of the best places to use the phrase. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. You know? Wow.
Sure. Yeah. Well and like they might be right more than once. I don't care. I fundamentally I don't give a fuck about their methodology whatsoever. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah. It's all of the surrounding claims that I'm just go, wait a minute.
Time out.
1 second. All of them.
Hold on.
Yoga, powerlifting, every single thing that you do, Tim, not good enough.
Nope.
Every single thing. And you have, I mean, okay, you're going to rotate your athletes. You're going to have them do sprints. You're going to have them do bilateral work, unilateral work. You're going to have them do the basic fucking shit that we all know as strength and conditioning coaches. You're going to have them do, but it's none of them. And I repeat, none of them are going to be correct.
Yep.
Because functional patterns knows all the correct stuff to do. That is the issue. Not their fucking methodology. It's their fundamental understanding of strength conditioning that they push on everyone else.
What I think is interesting is when I see an athlete who's just a freak. Like if I'm watching football on TV or the Olympics or whatever, I'm looking at an athlete and I'm like, wow, like I wonder how they got there. I wonder what they're doing. Like I'm just curious about the training that it takes to get to a certain level. What I think is odd is when a training methodology or group of people, all they do is they look at an athlete performing at a high level and they're like, they could actually be a lot better if they...
Oh my God.
I'm like, are you insane right now?
Yes.
That is the least scientific... It is such a fucking bullshit fallacy.
I made a post about someone was doing that because Jamar Chase was like, I'm not gonna lie. And Jamar, I've worked with him for several off seasons. He's one of those guys, he cannot work out for a period of time, though he doesn't usually. He's a worker, but eventually he'll take some time off after season, walk in, power clean 315 easily. Just and like the question was like, Jamar, what's your nutrition like? You know, he just had the Triple Crown, best career year, right? Led the NFL in all these categories. And he goes, I'm not gonna lie, like I eat McDonald's. Like I don't really worry about my nutrition. Those are his exact words. People lost their minds and they were like, if he
imagine
if he ate better. I'm like, he's arguably the best player in the NFL right fucking now. He's definitely the best wide receiver based categorically off stats. So I made this whole thing. I was like, he would not be better if he ate better. You guys are missing the fucking point. And they're like, well, we'll just see how long his career is. We'll see how long he makes it.
The fucking Will Sears,
I'm just like, brother in Christ, what the actual fuck are you talking about?
Don't you just want to take these people and just punch their legs?
Yes. I want to get like Charlie Murphy. Meet up their legs. Like Charlie Murphy and Eddie Murphy whipping.
And they're like, and they're
Rich James's legs on the couch.
Yeah, just punching his legs.
Yes.
Right? And they're like, why are you punching my legs? And you just don't answer. You
don't
just
need
keep
to.
punching their legs.
Yeah.
That's what
I watched this. If there's any like big running fans in the audience, which there's probably not, but you should do it more and get more into it.
Yeah, well, if there are, just go get laid.
So for the few running, for the two running fans,
for the virgins, I mean running fans.
Ultra runner Hans Troyer. He is phenomenal. He's blowing up right now. He just placed in the top 10 at the Western States 100, which is insane considering he's like 24 or 25 years old. It's like unheard of to be at that level in ultra running at that age. And I watched a documentary on him, and he's like living out in an RV in the middle of the woods, just like eating and running and eating and running. And that's like his life. And I watched this whole documentary. went through like his diet, his training, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't have a lot of money. And he's like basically living off of the discount, like expired food rack at Walmart. And like,
wow,
basically eating moldy bread to support his training. But like absolutely crushing it. And that was the least interesting thing to me in the video. Like I just kind of watched it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I kept watching and I like checked the comments and just people are losing their shit.
Couldn't believe it,
dude,
over his diet.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not that crazy.
I think there is nothing that bothers the internet autists more than the unknown.
Yeah.
Than some guy just being a fucking dog.
Just that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like just being like
the whole point.
Yeah.
He's better than you.
Yeah, he's just like he can just be like, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
Yep.
Why? I don't care why. I just know I'm better than you. I'm more athletic. I'm just up here. I'm better. And like people are like, but what about the training and the nutrition?
Yeah. Well, it's on the supposition that if I were to eat the way this guy did, if I was able to train the way this guy did, I almost won state. If I had the right coaches, if I had this, it's something.
You want to know, dude?
It's like I could be almost as good as Jamar. I could, and it's like, brother, there's nothing you could have done. You could have made your whole life about being the best wide receiver.
I know that's what I love about athletics,
and you
bro.
Never would have even made it.
I love about athletics. The new thing that I've seen is to say that that's definitely achievable natural. That's like the new thing. That's like the new meta, right? So I could be like, this guy is so on gear, and people be like, he doesn't even look like he's on gear. How can you just be so sure? Like that's definitely achievable natural. And I was like, okay. He has like 1,000 videos of him with his shirt off, like pretty much every day. Veins in his legs, like bulging out, veins everywhere, red tomatoey skin, just like
that is the tell.
Sub fucking 10%.
Yeah.
All year round. And he's I'm like probably a charlatan in some sort of a way, right? Yeah. Like maybe a shady actor. That's just and I go like, this guy definitely takes steroids. He's like, 45 years old.
Yeah.
And he's super shredded year round, just doing bodybuilding. Yeah. Like it's likely that he's on steroids, but everyone goes, their favorite thing to say is like, definitely achievable natural, like blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, if it is, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you achieving it natural? Yeah. And they'll be like, well, because
who else?
Well, because I don't care that much. I'm not an influencer. It's moving the goalposts all the time. I can just move them further away. Oh, Jamar, like, well, he could be better. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see about that.
We can't just
3
say
years.
We'll see, because I'm not going to see. Like he's good now, and he's like.
Yeah, it's like people. It's like, okay, here's the thing about Jamar that I know that you don't, that most people don't, is he grew up in fucking Louisiana, in the deep fucking South, and that motherfucker was winning state championships in long jump. Do you think that he was dialed in on his nutrition, or do you think he was just eating some good old fucking Cajun food down there?
Yeah, just eating.
I got news for you. It was Church's chicken, motherfucker, and fucking gumbo, because that's what he likes to eat. I know it because I know him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, I've been getting the we'll see about, and I don't want to shift the gears too much here.
We'll see.
But I've been getting the we'll see about me not eating meat for 17 years. They're like, we'll see how long that lasts with athletic performance. I'm like, all right, well, how much longer do I have to keep this up?
There was a recent, and you may be able to come in and give me a lifeline here, because I'm probably going to butcher this, but I feel like recently I saw a pretty sizable study being done on there being virtually no difference at all where your protein source comes from. And like, I think it was the idea being is like, as long, because I think the argument was like, oh, as long as it's like a pea protein, that's like a complete protein or not.
Dude, you see so many things about protein that are based on just like very, very isolated mechanisms. Like I saw one recently on egg white protein versus whole eggs.
Okay. And
not to diss on this guy's work, because he does phenomenal work and I love his posts, but that shared the study. But basically the idea was that one group had 18 grams of protein from egg whites, one group had 18 grams of protein from whole eggs.
Okay.
And the whole egg group had greater muscle protein synthesis. So the argument was like, foods in their like natural state, like whole food matrix, whatever, is superior, blah, blah, blah. That was the original hypothesis of the study.
Okay.
But that same research group later went back and they're like, let's test this at scale and like give people a resistance training program and have them consume whole egg or egg white protein over the course of a resistance training program in the context of a diet that has enough protein. It didn't matter.
No difference.
So like it matters when you zoom in and you look at like, let's look at this mechanism and this response over a couple hours. It matters. Let's look at it in the real world. Doesn't matter.
Over the aggregate
and like
of
that's
time.
what you see again and again and again with a lot of these protein studies of like, let's compare 15 grams of pea protein versus 15 grams of whey protein.
I think
it's like, okay, it matters, but let's look at it in the real world and it doesn't matter. It never really pans out if you're eating enough calories, enough food, training hard. Don't be a dumbass. Like it's just not that big of a deal.
I think placebo and mindset are just everything. And you get a lot of, this is why athletics and sports are really important to developing mindset, because like this mixture of play and intensity is super underrated. So I show up to a sporting event, I have to perform in front of a crowd and all this stuff. It's like, but I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. Like I show up and I'm just playing, and they're like, now if somebody never did that and they're like, okay, now I need to do physical things, and here's the training that I need to do it. So I'm going to dial every single thing in. At no point are they thinking, oh, I'm just playing. And like, if you just kind of play and like, I'm a sick fuck, I can just push hard and just like, oh, this hurts, let me keep going. Or, rather than thinking, oh, did I get 7 hours of sleep? And did I hit my protein macro? Did I have, the right amount of macros, micros, all this shit? Like at no point in their training are they thinking like, I'm playing and having fun, or like I can just fight through with my mind. And that dichotomy to me is so interesting, because that shows itself more and more in the fitness world, because everyone feels like I said before, everyone feels like they're involved.
Yeah.
To speak a little bit further to the like having that dog in you mindset and mentality, I think one thing that people misunderstand about that is they like over index on mental toughness, and they're like, you can just, if you're just mentally tough enough, you're going to be that much better at everything all the time. And I would push back on that a little bit and say that like when we look at like grit or mental toughness and correlate it with athletic performance, it's a really inconsistent and weak relationship compared to like just what was the action that they took and did they show up. So like you could be mentally fragile and not very confident, but as long as you showed up and did the work anyway, it's okay that you didn't feel like super confident while you were doing it, And I think people underestimate that, and they'll beat themselves up for not being confident. And it's like, yeah, it'd probably be better if you were confident, but even if you're not,
but you
did the thing.
You can still go do the thing.
You ran on day 34 anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
like to me, like when I talk about someone that's like that has that dog in them, I'm not talking about the person who's just like hyper confident like Macho Man. I'm talking about the person who like maybe you didn't want to go and maybe you weren't feeling great about yourself, but you did the thing anyway. Like that to me is what the dog is all about.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's undoubtedly.
What you described has also been a working definition for me of the word courage. But okay, last question. This is for both of you. Let's have you go first. This is from Jake_Hyde. Can only listen to one song for the remainder of your workouts for life.
Jeez.
What's the song?
Toughest question of the day.
It absolutely is.
Okay. All right.
I think I have my answer.
Let's go. Well, if you
I think I'll do Digital Love by Daft Punk.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. It's got so many different pieces to it. There's a big breakdown with like a guitar, synth solo. It's got a catchy, it's pop, but it's also a little funky. There's different movements in it. And it's a longer song. I think it's like 4 minutes or something, 4.5 minutes. 5 minutes. I don't know.
I mean,
One of the best songs I've ever heard, Digital Love by Daft Punk.
That's a solid choice.
Last night, I had this dream about you.
I was thinking
In
I'd have
this
to
dream.
I'd have to pick something instrumental because I think if you listen to vocals too many times.
Whoa, that's actually a great point. That's a really good point. Because, yeah. Oh my God, you could do like a 50-minute concerto and like.
That's what I was thinking. Some long
Go
classical
for a
piece.
ride.
That would be actually great.
Yeah.
I wonder,
That could work pretty well.
are classical pieces
Considered
super long? I thought they're like anywhere from like 3 to 7 minutes long.
Oh God,
There can be some
I'm not
long
the
ones.
guy.
But that would be, yeah, that's actually a great, because the thing is like for the rest of your life.
That's a lot. That's a long.
And I don't think
commitment.
it couldn't be too. If the energy was too high, you can't. It would have.
Oh man, now I regret my decision. He's very convincing.
Yeah, I think it's got to be something just like kind of. If you pick something too extreme, it's like a big hype song. Like you can't do that. It's got to be
Long
something chill.
jazz.
Yeah, jazz, classical. Oh man, what is it though?
I got mine.
I think Moonlight Sonata.
Moonlight Sonata.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
you don't know it? Are you kidding me?
Mine's the Star Spangled Banner. Wait, that's not, no, that's not what it's called. Jesus Christ.
The Star Spangled Banner.
Why am I freaking out right now? My brain is mush.
Because you guys have swayed me to this, but there's a song called "Breathe" by Telepop Music, and literally the only words that are spoken throughout the song are "breathe" and "just breathe."
Okay, mine is.
But it's a trance song, and I feel like I can go anywhere I need to go mentally and emotionally with that based on
that's pretty good.
on where like that song can meet me where I'm at all times.
Vivaldi's Winter. I feel like I can relax to it or get hyped to it.
I would do Tequila. That'd be so good. Tequila.
Tequila. You're like, man, he's really amped up. I wonder what he's listening to. It's like it's tequila, or it's just like he's like crying. He's like in shambles. It's like, what is he listening to? It's like,
yeah, it's getting
tequila.
really emotional.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. This was fucking awesome.
That was fun.
It was great. We had a blast. Everyone, hey, quick shout out to all our sponsors. We're not doing segments today because this is just kind of a different vibe and it'd be weird to force everyone to do segments at this point. But thank you for all your love and support. Everyone go check out the links in the description. Subscribe. And if you guys don't follow Alec or Zach, check them out on Instagram, YouTube. They're both doing things that are just individually unique and important and moving the needle. And I'm big fans of you both. So, guys, till next time.
Later.